So last time.
Gotta have
My clever idea worked.
Yeah, you gotta have the 24 countdown though.
Yeah, apologies to anyone that missed like the clip show that explained everything, the episode before this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will be getting that episode uploading tonight when I leave for work. So it will be live tomorrow.
I think it's a better cliffhanger just to not do it. It's like, leave the suspense.
It was the episode where we were battling in the catacombs and got to Snagglethor, whatever it was.
As you do.
So, but yeah, I apparently saved the file in the wrong place, and
oh, that's the best.
Yeah, so I got everything out of order and missed uploading that one, but it's ready to go, so it'll get uploaded, like I said, when I leave for work tonight. So
cool.
Good evening, Hollisty. We haven't died yet, but
yet
yeah,
working on it.
The last time, after Sloopadoop was destroyed by Demogorgon, as sometimes happens, the party fled into the darkness, the relative darkness. And if I recall correctly, you chose to not go around the lake. You chose to go to the unexplored path. Not explored Dio, but the unexplored trading path away from the town, correct?
It seemed prudent since the Demogorgon was in the lake. Or not the Demogorgon, but the... What was his name? He had a name. He was...
Demogorgon?
Oh, I thought he actually had a name as like one of the top level demons, or that's just...
Oh, the Prince of Demons, maybe?
Yeah, maybe that was what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It just sounded impressive in addition to him being a kind of a world ender.
Mm-hmm. But he's back far behind, probably won't be bothering anyone now. He's found his own little personal hamlet to settle down in, and he'll probably stay there.
Well, the nice thing is if you get farther and farther away, the AI starts to lower due to processing limitations. So he won't know to follow us because we've gotten far enough away.
It's like you look behind. Oh, he faded out of existence. We're probably fine now.
Line of sight, we're good.
Exactly. It's brilliant.
No, so you managed to make it out of there and fled into the darkness, and then you had the decision of where in the world we'd like to try and head. What was the decision that you made?
Hell.
Okay, well, that's that way. That's back where you came from.
I was saying we have a portal back to walk in. I thought we had decided to go towards... Oh my God.
I think you said Blingdenstone, right?
I thought it was Blingdenstone, but I didn't want to say that.
I wanted to say Sloopadoop. I was like, no, it's the other stupid sounding name.
No, Sloopadoop is where we just left.
Yeah, it's not Menzabrons, and it's not the dwarf sounding place.
Gracklestug.
That's the one. So
yeah. So I do have a map here. This is a small cutout of a much larger map, but this is what it is. Obviously, the Underdark is winding and it goes up and down, so this is not as the crow flies. And in
I'm sorry, I have to interrupt.
Yes.
I like rocks.
Yeah.
He likes rocks. You have panned over the text over there, because you're the one with the camera.
I didn't say anything because that all checked out.
That's good. No.
Right? No,
hang on. No. There we go. That's my reaction to that. This is our Mass Effect. We just finished a BioWare game today, too. This is our BioWare... Ow! Companion thing. God dang it.
Wow.
Loyalty quest for all.
Yep.
Still better than Andromeda.
Not a high bar, but whatever.
Yes, but this is what's your general rate of these people at a glance?
An elite fighting force ready for action.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah, exactly,
dun, dun.
Yeah, that's where the montage comes in, where you're doing welding and grinding and cutting of metal to do some sort of MacGyver construction.
Only it's just trying to make a stick stand up.
Yes.
All right. So, Blingdenstone, the individual who knows how to get there is, well, there's a couple of people. Jim Jar, Topsy and Turvy know how to get there, but I believe you'd elected Jim Jar to lead because he believes it will take roughly maybe 3 to 4 weeks to get there.
I commit suicide in boredom.
I guess I proceed over his soul passing.
There we go. I'm dead.
Yeah.
So let's roll 128 dice. No, we're not going to do that.
Elmvor will receive you.
If you want to, we can, but
Even the
by
most,
default, I was not going to do that.
if I could share a story real quick, one of the most rules-heavy friends I know in D&D, Charlie, he's a great guy. He doesn't do that.
Mhm.
He absolutely refuses because he thinks it's boring.
Yeah.
In fact, his rule is very simple. There's one encounter per trip, or one roll, I should say.
Mhm.
One roll per trip. That's it. Because he does not want to deal with that crap.
No, just to kind of give you a peek behind the curtain, I'm not rolling for any, well, I said I'm not rolling right now for anything. I rolled a long time ago and decided what should be on the path. Should you choose to go somewhere.
Perfect.
Which does not mean I just rolled 50 times like, oh, you're going to fight 10 carrion crawlers every day.
You know what? I would believe that. I really would.
If you go straight by the rules, yeah, I can just tell you if you go straight by the rules what happens, because we're not doing this. So depending if you're going fast, medium, or slow, it takes either 1/3 of the time or an additional third of the time to get there. If you're going fast, you can't forage. Going slow, it improves foraging.
We'll just starve slowly.
Yeah. And then every day you roll twice on a d20. One for the morning and one for the evening. And if you get a 14 or above, an encounter happens. And then it's either a terrain encounter or a monster encounter. And some of them are literally just, hey, 5 bats jump down, fight them. No. Okay. So we're not going to. But to their credit, they have included some. If you really don't want to do that, here's some other stuff you can just drop in there.
That's nice.
Yeah. Like option.
We should let the viewers decide what we encounter. That sounds like a safe and productive idea.
Pretty sure that's the worst idea. It'll be hilarious, but we're going to die quicker.
No, we just say we hit F5 right before it.
Yeah.
10 mind flayers pop out in front of us. We're level what, 3?
That checks out.
Actually, did you level up last time?
No.
Yeah, we're level 4.
Yeah. But we're not quite to 5 because there was something else we needed to do.
There's something else you need to do.
Yes.
Survive.
Yes.
I did not level myself. I'll do that later.
Okay. So, with Jim, by the way, there is one random variable to all of this, and that is the guide. Because it is possible to get lost in this and end up somewhere else.
Well, then we should have Ron to lead.
I think you should. I was about to say, I think you should ask your Orcish companion to lead us.
He's the natural choice. I'm already over talking to him right now.
He likes rocks. Okay,
I like rocks.
Right, and what is the Underdark made mostly of? Rocks.
See?
Done.
Yeah, you're like, maybe I wonder if Ron knows where to go, and you look over there and he's just like pounding 2 rocks together. No, he's not that stupid.
I mean, good.
No, he's actually what is his intelligence? Or he may be that stupid. It's a 7, so like he knows stuff. He just
at least he's capable of speech.
Yes, his wisdom is an 11, so
he's gonna be a shaman.
Yeah, he's gonna be a shaman one day.
He's gonna earn it.
He's also aggressive. All right. So, with Jim Jar leading, you head off into the darkness along this trading route. And he seems to be following the route most of the time. On occasion, you will see him duck off to the side. You'll have to get aside as he thinks there may be something ahead, but then it generally seems to be clear and they go. So it's like a normal pace, but he's taking caution. Maybe too much in some instance, but I'm guessing nobody's really going to complain.
Not being from here, no.
Yeah. So for the next few days, the travel is relatively uneventful. You do reach the end of your actual package rations at that point in time, and you have to turn to foraging local wildlife and fauna in order to get along.
So I turn to our small companion.
Which one?
And then
wait, you're the dwarf, so no, that checks out. Okay.
Yep.
It's like, don't eat me, I'm poisonous.
That's okay.
Oh no.
I come back. Hey guys, I got you some jerky.
Some mushroom jerky.
Mushroom turkey.
Hard pass.
But I mean, you're not too far off from what you end up having to eat. A lot of it is fungi based.
Please tell me at some point, for real, we'll have access to food, like actual real food.
That all depends on where you go, what you do.
But that sounds like a yes, because it's there.
Food exists in the world.
It's on the table.
It's on the table.
Obviously, we could leave the Underdog.
I mean, it was on the table back in Sloopadoop. We just didn't get to that.
Yeah. Might have been some fish.
I mean, whose fault is that?
We're not pointing fingers, but
yeah, maybe.
Where's our thing? Hang on. Where are we?
You're over here.
No, we're not. We're right here. So we're going from Sloopadoop. We're going up. So we're like here-ish.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know.
For the viewers at home,
for your intended travel is this way.
Actually, oh god, it went through the map.
No.
There we go. We're good.
Yeah. So your intended travel is over here.
No, actually, we're right here. That's where we really are.
Oh, perfect.
I see a town up ahead. We've made it, guys.
Oh,
that's a lot of spiders. That's a lot of spiders.
Why are there so many? It's okay. We won't be hungry this way.
No. I mean, this does come up, and Jim's just like, "Don't worry. It'll be very obvious we're heading in that direction."
Yeah, I
don't worry.
Mean, it's right next to Menzoberranzan, and I hate Menzoberranzan. As much as I'd love to meet, I forget his name again. How much I would love to meet him.
Jaraxel?
Was that his name? I actually wrote it down. Hang on, where's my notes?
Oh, Sereth. You were talking about Sereth.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, Sereth hasn't been seen ever since he just left after he got the opportunity.
Yeah, we're never going to see him again. He's one NPC in the Underdark. We are never going to see him again. This is not a BioWare game.
So to assist with foraging, would it be survival or nature or medicine?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
You could. So what I'll do is, if you can use either survival or nature, and if you are proficient in more than one of them, you may gain advantage.
Okay.
Now, with the number of Underdark proficient NPCs that you have, you can just leave it to them, and they will be able to take care of you if you want to focus on other tasks. The advantage of having a group.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, so me as a stalwart meat eater, I'd probably be really good at being able to provide vegan advice. So yes, I'll go ahead and roll for that. No, I'll ask a vegan.
So here's kind of what you've been finding in the Underdark. Again, most of it is fungi based, but there's a lot of different kinds. Like, it's not just picking up general white mushrooms and just chomping on those. There's dozens of varieties that you come across. Most of them are not good to eat, and they will explain that. But the other ones, you have like barrel stalks, which you break open, and they're kind of like cacti, where they have both something you can eat on the outside and water inside that you can use to drink on the way.
Okay.
For the record, and for real, if we're ever unsure about something being poisonous, I'll volunteer to test it, because dwarf. Yeah.
No, actually, you and Eldith are the testers if you ever have to use them. You haven't had to so far.
Okay.
Because most of this, you've got so many people that can recognize these things on site that, you just kind of know, right? So you run into barrel stalks. you run into things called trillimac, and these are mushrooms that are like 4 to 5 feet tall, and they look kind of gray. They got a greenish cap on it, and they look a little, like, are we sure you want to eat this?
Mhm.
But people like Eldith and Jimjar, Topsy-Turvy, they start, and Bupido even, they start cutting this down and making these into like pouches for your water, and the stalks are able to be cleaned and soaked in water and then dried, and then it actually has the consistency of like bread.
Okay, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like mucus that's been vomited up. But
Okay, you lost me.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't taste that bad. Actually, let me see which. Yeah, it doesn't taste that bad. Like, you wouldn't want to eat this every day. You know, it's not elven bread or anything like that.
Mhm.
But I know
dude, we need to get some freaking, oh god, what's it called? Lambus. We need lambus. That would really actually legitimately be awesome right now. I turn to the GM, hey GM, so since I'm buying you dinner,
Oh, we're starting here now.
we're doing this again, huh?
I just look, I'm just saying some lembas would not go amiss.
You don't find random elven bread laying around the Underdark, and even if you did, you probably wouldn't want to eat it.
Yes, it's
Oh god,
drow,
yeah, that would
drow
be.
elven bread. So
I'll totally eat it, and let me describe for 3 pages how
Yeah.
screwed you are.
exactly. Here's the lore behind why you're dead.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what you're finding. You find some barrel stock, some trillimac. You do pass some like this orange, white hot colored lichen near some geothermal vents at some point, and guess who would point this out? Oh yeah, Eldith probably would. And Bupido said this is it's fire lichen. You can like ferment that into a paste, and you can either put it on bread to give it some spice, or add to soups or stews. But it also makes a pretty good hot liquor once you ferment it.
Okay. If I'm ever around this way again, I'll definitely look into doing that.
All right.
I know a hot liquor back home.
Hey, liquor, I hardly know her. All right.
I had to.
Yes.
I'd say I'm sorry, but I'd be lying.
Yeah.
No. So you can traveling this way for what seems to be at least 10 days or so. I mean,
Do we have a pack of cards at least?
You have a pack of cards. I don't know. Does anybody have a pack of cards? Do you want to make packs of cards?
I'm just saying, like, we need to have something to do for 10 days. That's just an atrocious amount of time to have nothing. Wait, I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I gather every night when we gather together, I gather everyone. I'm like, all right, get your dice out. We're going to play Offices and Cubicles. And I'm
Nobody
the GM.
knows.
Yeah.
Nobody in the group knows what that is. They're like, oh, okay.
No. They actually, hang on. I'll roll for it. Where's my dice roll?
They know what Office is. A cubicle, not so much.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's this brand new game. I was just taught it. Where is my freaking dice?
Bupido says, I heard of cuticles before, but not cubicles.
No, don't worry. You'll love this. Okay.
Isn't this a cubicle, technically?
Dice in game. Where's it? Where's the D20?
Yeah.
Someone spawn a D20. I'm not promoted.
Oh, let me promote everybody. How about that? I do that?
Because I don't know where my fist. This is like the 3rd time this week I have lost my dice that I keep on my desk, and it just keeps them.
That's what dice are meant for, to be lost.
That's why you always need to be buying
There
more.
it is. I found it. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a charisma roll to get everyone into the game,
Okay.
because I want them to actually enjoy themselves. Now, unfortunately, my charisma's garbage, so that's just a 14.
Perfect.
Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, it's 5e.
That's true. So
I mean,
I try to sell everyone on it.
And honestly, people are starved for something to do at this point.
Exactly, and it keeps their brains engaged. And okay, for those of you at home, real talk, long car trips, D&D, no joke. It makes it so much better. Like those 8-hour trips we used to do, those are just gone because of D&D. Anyways, so yeah, and I start running it through it. So Cadiz, what class do you make? I'm just curious. In Offices and Cubicles.
Sorry. I've actually never played that, so you're not.
That's because I just made it up 10 seconds ago.
Right. Okay. Class.
Like think about the concept.
Right. I would say intern.
Intern. Good choice. Good choice. They've got a lot of stat bonuses, but they have a really low social score, and it's really hard for them to actually bring home the proper reward rating.
Okay. But I can get everybody's lunch order.
That's true. And you're really good at it, and you get some brownie points that way, so you have a high charisma. Guido.
Well, obviously, I'd have to be a CEO.
Of course.
Typical.
So your charisma is decent, but your int is 4.
Oh.
And your wisdom is 0. Actually 0.
This box is the internet.
Yes.
Wouldn't the intelligence actually be higher? Wisdom would still be 0. But to actually get to like a CEO level, wouldn't the intelligence be higher?
I guess. Fine. Well, no, but to become a CEO, it's int draining.
Oh.
It's part of the class. You take attribute losses for becoming CEO. Now, there's a lot of benefits, for being a CEO, but everyone else is constantly conspiring against you.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway, so I run that for all 10 days. To keep everyone entertained. And if I might be so bold, I think we should get a morale bonus for them.
My intern dies 3 times during the course of the gaming sessions because he's expendable.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead and make a... Are you proficient in any gaming stuff?
I actually am, but I don't remember what. Because I took that when I was starting, and I was like, oh, that's stupid. I'll never use that. I think I even wrote it down. Hang on, where's the monk thing? Yes.
Okay, so just make me an advantage charisma roll with your proficiency.
It is here. It's the gaming set.
There you go. Yeah, so make your gaming set roll.
Okay.
So it's basically charisma plus your proficiency.
Ooh. So I have no charisma, of course, but I do have
Sure.
So that's gonna be 20.
Okay, that's pretty good. So you introduce this brand new game made up entirely on the spot.
Yep.
Pulled from no previous sources.
Oh, never. It's fantastical. Why would anyone sit in a cube and type on a device rather than actually go out and do anything? I mean, that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the terms are confusing to some of these people.
Well, yeah,
but they start getting into it, and they're like, this world is so silly that it's just kind of fun to play in sometimes.
PC load letter.
Ront should be like the janitor, the disgruntled janitor. And let's see what else here. Where's the?
He's like, no, it's too close to home.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ron. I don't have to do that. What's this jackass? Prince? I'm not a prince.
Oh, of course, he chooses what would be the equivalent of a monk? He chooses the hippie class.
Well, I was going to say
HR director.
I was going to go with the Linux guru.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You don't understand. All you have to do is, and then he just talks for 3 paragraphs about this very specific setup, and it'll work perfectly.
Okay.
But you peasants won't know how to do that.
Like,
so
Shushar is one of those ones who, like, obviously doesn't understand it, but he's like, oh, I love this. And you're like, is he having fun or not? I can't tell. Eldith is just kind of as normal. Upido seems to think it's interesting, but he seems to be a little more practical. So he's having trouble. Right? Yes, he's having trouble getting into the mindset, right?
Okay, so he'd be playing something really boring, like a human fighter equivalent, right?
No,
so I'm thinking literally just like data entry guy. Yeah.
No, so he'd be like, well, what's the most practical? I mean, he'd pre-play a rogue, 100%. Like, well, we need a lot of skills, and it's good to have skills, so I should be this one.
Logistics.
Oh God, what's the? Well, yeah, we could go logistics. I was thinking like the fresh out of college dude.
Oh,
the new hire.
Yeah, the new hire.
What he'd do? He would do an engineer.
Okay, yeah. Just go straight up engineer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally not writing these down.
There will be a test later.
So, what's she?
Eldith would definitely be. What's an equivalent?
Oh no, she'd be tech support. I like Zalok's idea there.
Sure. Okay.
He'd be tech support. Everyone can see my awful handwriting here. I really do have terrible handwriting. I try not to. Yeah. Okay. And
I know someone who has worse.
How? I believe you. I've known doctors. I've seen one. Jim Jar.
No, it's me.
He's also in the game with us.
Jim Jar would be that guy who's in the low-level position, but somehow has a lot of authority.
Oh,
So his luck is like through the roof.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's more like he's just been there forever, and he's like really charismatic and knows how to get around the stuff. So,
Okay.
but he flies under the radar.
We'll call
You
him
never
the
see him.
I know what we'll call him. The seniority dinosaur.
Yeah. No, okay. No, that's.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah. No,
So he's a
and-
I've actually
natural
known people like
stealth.
that.
He has a
It's
natural
like-
stealth bonus.
yeah, and it's like you're on like exactly the same position, but somehow like you get everybody to do whatever you say.
Mm.
Runt would be the janitor.
Okay. Well, he doesn't have to be. It was just my first thought. Okay, fine, Janet. Is he disgruntled though?
He's not disgruntled, but he's one of those people who are like, you're obviously not that great at your job, but people still kind of like you, so they keep you around.
I like the idea that he's constantly trying to kill. Oh God, Guido, what's your character name?
No idea. Okay. What was the hospital show with
Scrubs.
Scrubs? Yes. So the janitor from Scrubs.
Everybody just said
It's the
there's a
hospital show
million
that
hospital
everyone-
shows, but everybody.
There's only one good one. No.
Well, it's like you said, disgruntled janitor, and I'm like, it's Scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He doesn't care.
Well,
Unless he-
obviously,
No. He's playing a stool.
Oh yeah, perfect.
That's typecast.
It is.
obviously
And-
the CEO's name is Richard.
Richard, there you go. So yeah, his character is like, I take the bucket and I try to kill Richard. I'm like, no, there's no killing in this game. You can't just murder the CEO. Why not? And
No. Topsy and Turvy.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd actually play.
No. They would be the workers that always go off to lunch alone and never talk to anyone.
Oh, so there's actually several flavors of that. Let's be nice and say they're just the introverts.
Yeah. It's one of those ones where you're like, do you have something against everybody? But like, no, I don't know.
So they're the introvert. We'll just make them engineers.
And thank you for the follow on, Devil. Appreciate that.
Okay. And I'm the GM, so I'm not playing anything. You're playing the CEO. I don't have a thing for you. And what were you playing? Please.
Intern.
Intern. Right. Lots of skills. Everyone.
No
craps on you.
survivability.
Yeah, it's just you've actually re-rolled twice.
Yes. No, it's one
Okay.
of those like archaic things. Like my character has died at least one time during the generation of said character, during rolling the character up.
Yep.
It's like somehow you managed to roll negative hit points and died instantly.
Yeah.
Well, okay, well, start over.
Like, is it cruelty in later systems? They let you just minimum 1 HP, so you're just going to die whenever you start.
Yeah.
Is that
like
cool?
Never won a night.
It's just delaying the inevitable.
All right,
Okay, so sorry for interrupting the campaign.
that's fine.
I'm totally going to make that a thing going forward. Every time we're traveling.
No, I mean, and there's
Inception.
like it's something to take their mind off the journey. Some of them like don't have as much of a problem with the actual journey. Like Elvis seems to, I mean, she's dour, but she seems to be like, this is stuff that she does. Bupido just seems to not care. Jim Jar, I mean, like Ront and the other ones, they get like testy, especially Ront. You know, he's the "are we there yet" type of person.
Oh.
But this is at least keeping everyone placated for the time being, and you know, morale does not dip.
Oh, it doesn't go up, but at least it does.
Well, I mean, it did go up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, by not going down. Ooh, someone changed the lighting.
I was just really tired of the blank space. I was so sick of it. Sorry.
All right.
I'll mute myself. I'm sorry.
So you travel for several more days. Jim Jar starts telling people that I think I'm starting to recognize some of the more markings around here. So we're getting closer and closer. And even Topsy and Turvy seem to be looking around and seeing the landmarks, quote unquote, around here with like some sort of recognition. And for the rest of you, it's just, you know, caves and rock formations and fungi and the occasional underground river that you don't want to drink from. But Jimzar seems to at least know where he's going. At this point, you've traveled off of the main trade route. Incredibly surprising, since this is such a long way from Sloopdoop to Blingdenstone. But Jimzar says that once we hit the main trade route, we're going to have to be between, you know, Menzoberranzan and Blingdenstone. And I say a main trade route. It's more of a path of destruction that the Drow cut towards Blingdenstone. Once we hit there, we're going to have to be much more careful of Drow patrols. Right? Okay. They don't go down to Blingdenstone to bother it anymore. There's nothing for them to take anymore. But it would be good to keep your eyes open. I think within the next few days, we'll hit there.
Okay.
And so the next few days pass. Roll. Oh, that's good. You find the path that Jimjar was talking about, and contrary to the trade route that you've seen before, this is obviously a place that a large host of organized people marched through at some point in time. Like, the ground is just all sorts of disturbed, like there was heavy machinery moving over it, a lot of footprints, and, you know, even though it's, you know, not damp down here or anything, it's still a little bit hard to move around just because of how disturbed it's been, and it hasn't been fixed since. At this point, Jimjar says, this is where we really need to get careful, right? I don't plan on seeing anyone, but let's do this quiet-like for the next few days.
So is there any sort of preparation or any sort of like concealment we can think about doing to kind of, or will we just want to roll stealth and see if we can pull that off kind of thing as we move?
Well, if you've got any ideas, you can present them, or if you'd like to, you can also make a survival check.
So I have a disguise kit, but that's only going to go so far.
Yeah,
I don't think that's for like applicable for this, because I could disguise what I look like, but I'm still going to look like a human, just a different human, which means nothing to them as they cut me down.
Right. So, you know, just make me an intelligence check then with your disguise kit proficiency, because this is kind of a, what could I possibly disguise myself or anyone else as?
Okay.
So, plumbing your character knowledge for this.
Okay.
Oh,
18.
18. Okay. So you're looking around the group and you're like, well, most of these people, with perhaps the exception of yourself, wouldn't really be able to pass off as anything except like a slave to a drow, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe Liam, since he's tall enough and has like kind of the right physique for like a built drow. But yeah, I mean, those are the only disguises that you can possibly think of. Like perhaps you and Liam as drow, with everybody else as some degree of slave. And even then, you're not quite sure that'll hold up to close inspection.
Scrutiny. Yeah. Okay. So, if nothing else, maybe walking cadence and mannerisms. If we could, like, maybe like a performance check to, like, if we're moving, try to be quiet but still looking like we're a group of slavers taking product to market, sort of thing.
Would potentially work.
Okay.
And, you know, as you know, I'm assuming you're conferring this with the group and kind of
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm open to ideas, but that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Jimzar says, I think that's probably our best bet. If they get close, then we're screwed pretty much no matter what. But as long as we look like someone they don't want to mess with, then if we meet anyone, we may have a chance of just passing by.
Okay. Yeah, because I have no real illusion spells that would be applicable.
Yeah, Eldith says, perhaps the wizard has some illusion spells to offer us.
You got it. Step up, crack my nut.
No,
Is there anything that you could perhaps offer us that would pass us through?
Yes.
No.
And I burn him with my eyeballs.
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is I know that wizards are especially skilled in illusions and all that sort of stuff. That is true, right? Well, we're not going to judge you if it's not, but...
My illusions would not benefit the party in this in our current predicament.
All right. Well, so be it then. I guess looking big and tough and just trying to stay out of trouble is what we got.
We'll give that a try.
All right. So, you start heading down the road to Blingdenstone. On the second day, you do encounter somebody coming the opposite direction. It seems to be a company. And when I say a company, I mean more like 12 or so individuals. They don't look like drow once they come into your dark vision range. They look more like, they're just like an odd mishmash of different creatures. There seems to be several Darrow, which are the short gray-skinned creatures. Bupido is actually a Darrow as well, although these seem to be much younger. And they're all dressed rather finely. And there are two other figures that just like stick out from them in height. There's one that looks like this lizard-like creature, dressed in some very fine robes, who seems to be talking to another creature who is completely shrouded and hooded, obviously trying to hide its features and form. And they seem to be, the lizard creature seems to be like hissing something, but you hear no response. And they don't seem to be paying any particular heed to you until you get relatively close. And there's not really anywhere to jump off the road at this point. This is just we need to power through this or stop. So what would you like to do?
I roll stealth.
How big is this lizard thing?
It's like medium size, right? Maybe like 5.5 to 6 feet tall.
Okay, so it's not a slad.
No, actually, as a matter of fact, if you'd like, no.
I was like, all right, if it's huge, I think I know what it might be.
If you'd like, you may roll a nature check to see if you recognize what this thing is.
All right. Oh, good. That's
I'm assuming anyone can.
Yes.
That's a 0 stat on my one. But I still rolled a 19. Okay, fine.
Right.
I got a 1.
Natural 20.
Good.
Nice.
Well, the one, it's Demogorgon. No,
Can it?
I just freak out and start running the opposite direction.
No, the closest thing that comes to mind to you is like lizard folk, but it looks like a different breed.
Okay.
For those of you who got like the 1920 though, you recognize that this is actually a troglodyte. And it looks kind of svelte, so it's probably a female, and they are known for being very smelly. Yes.
Are troglodytes
shiny? Must be bad guys.
Thank you, Tazara. He just resubbed. Thank you.
They're known for to have like natural camouflage, kind of like a chameleon, to smell fairly badly, have like a natural stench that wards creatures away. And they're generally known as underground creatures that you don't really want to mess with. Not really like orcs are known to be smarter than they are. So seeing one like this is pretty odd as far as, for their society.
Do troglodytes tend to be friendly towards drow, or?
No, but I mean that's not saying much because they tend not to be friendly towards a lot of people.
Okay.
They're very, yeah. It seems to be traveling with a companion with, and actually, you know what, Liam, you would recognize this instantly with a bunch of servants.
Oh, okay. Wait, the troglodyte has servants?
Either that or its companion. Huh. Because you look at that and you immediately recognize, oh, those are two upper class people with a bunch of servants.
Okay.
It's like that's like, I mean, even in the Underdark, that you can recognize.
So what's the troglodyte's companion then?
You're not quite sure because it is obviously making a huge attempt to conceal itself. And it's got like a standard, you know, like huge black robe and hood, but like the hood comes like way down. Like you're not even quite sure how it really sees more than just the ground in front of it.
Okay.
If that's even the sense it uses at all, which being in the Underdark might not be.
I have a plan.
Oh,
Oh no. There we go.
So this will summon yet another portal demon or open another gateway to hell. Okay, this makes sense.
Yes. Bupudo like nudges Tastin on the leg and says, "Be careful. They're a little crazy."
Okay. So I'll keep an eye on them as we get closer.
Mm-hmm. Jim Joe's kind of leading, and he looks back to the group and whispers out of the corner of his mouth, "So what's the plan here? You want to just let him pass, or what?"
I'm not wanting to start anything if we can get past without a fight.
The plan is forming down there in the bottom video box.
Yeah, as it usually is wont to do.
You can't help but notice that like half of the NPCs in the group are just sitting there looking out of the corner of their eye at Liam. Because they can see like the gears start going.
You got this, Liam. I am not joking, by the way. I'm stealthing.
Okay. So you'll basically be stealthing in the group. Because,
so that nobody notices me. Yeah. That's a higher than 15.
So it's that Assassin's Creed thing where like you get perfectly in the middle of us, and it like turns everything gray, and you can now follow anybody.
And I'm just so that's a 19 total.
Okay, 19 total. We're gonna put that down right here.
Nobody will notice me.
Yep.
So the path that we are on
could be on fire.
Maybe.
It's about wide enough for 3 people side by side to pass, so it's not incredibly wide, 15 feet wide basically.
Okay. But the direction of travel, could they be coming from either Menzoberranzan or Blingdenstone?
No. I mean, well, it seems pretty evident that they're coming from the direction of Blingdenstone.
Okay.
It would be a huge loop around if they were going to come from Menzoberranzan.
Okay.
Like to the point of you don't know why they would be.
Okay. That's perfect then. Also, on a completely unrelated note, the spell grease.
Okay. Is
grease flammable?
Real quick. Have you been to fast food ever? Yes.
So I will say this. A base grease spell is not flammable, but you know how we've been allowing a little bit of spell shaping with some arcane rolls and whatnot?
Okay.
Could become flammable.
Okay. Completely unrelated?
Yeah, clearly. No plans there.
Liam, I think, and we'll get into this later, there are spell construction rules.
Okay.
If you want to come up with stuff like Liam's like flaming grease or something like that, like that's definitely a possibility. Like this is how it starts. You're like, could grease be flammable?
Yeah. This was your wizard's thesis back at the Enclave. Like, you spent years trying to sell people on this spell, and everyone's like, "Why would you do that?"
Your dissertation is flammable grease.
It works.
It seems like a good offensive plan.
Yes.
Like I said, though, completely unrelated. I will, as we are approaching, as I am recognizing the entourage as for what it is, I will direct myself to walk more towards them, not aggressively, just moving away from my group to interact with their group.
Okay.
And as I approach, I am going to politely, well met, traveler. Can you tell me anything about Blingdenstone?
Okay. So both of them just stop talking. They fade off whatever one-sided conversation they had going. They just all look at you with these like huge, like milky white eyes. You don't sense that they're like blind, but that they're a little more adapted to the Underdark than your companion. And the troglodyte gives you this snaky-like smile and says, "Surface dweller, well met. I have not seen one of your kind for quite some time. You wish to know about Blingdenstone? We have just been there."
Excellent. How's the climate down there?
Rocky. Which climate are you referring to? There are many climates. Political, weather, all sorts.
Obviously not the weather.
Oh, there is weather in Blingdenstone, I assure you.
That's fair, but not relevant. Politically, how are they treating travelers these days?
Yes, so Taston and Mark, you notice that Topsy-Turvy and Jimjar are taking like an intense interest in this as he starts inquiring. Like they really want to know about this as well. And you're muted.
Sorry, I'm kind of dealing with something on the side.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yes, so I'm like, all right. I immediately kill both of them, and then no, like, are they? When you say they're interested in this, is this like a or a?
More
you can
like,
respond audibly if it's still getting answered.
maybe an insight check.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What's my wisdom? 0? No. Oh my God. 21.
21. Your gut instinct is you get the sense they've not heard news from their place in quite some time. And they are intensely curious to know how it is. It's like hearing news about your hometown for the first time in years.
Okay. I am kind of shuffling around and behind the larger people because I'm still stealthed.
Yeah.
What I would like, just in case, I want a charge line, basically.
Okay. I mean, easily enough.
So that's the goal of my shuffling and stealthing.
Okay.
And there might be some I-beams.
Gotcha. There would be many targets.
Completely unrelated.
So the troglodyte responds back and says, the political climate is in turmoil. No one sits on the throne, and there is a challenge from an enclave of monsters, slimes, and general filthy creatures from the north. They assault Blingdenstone constantly. The two ruling families cannot agree who is to take the throne. It's unfortunately in quite a bit of disarray.
Wait. They're under assault by an eldritch army of horrible doom, and they're debating who should be the king. This is a BioWare game.
Yes. It seems they've not learned to be unified even after the Drow annihilated their enclave.
Do any of us have the knowledge to know about demonic slimes?
Demonic slimes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. That'd be all sorts of other checks. Oh, you know what? Either a religion or an arcane or a nature would work for this.
Probably high DC, I would imagine.
Depends on the skill.
What I know for that? I guess religion would be more my thing. I mean, it's all int.
Mm-hmm. It's all int.
It is all int.
If you're not proficient in any of them, it's just a straight int.
My int is 0. So
As is mine.
Should have hit the books. It's 10.
Anyways, 18.
18 total.
On the dice.
What skill did you choose?
Which one's easiest?
They're all the same. It just depends on which knowledge you want.
Let's go with religion, because monk,
right.
order, fighting demons.
Yeah, so I'll say this. You have heard of demon lords using slimes as like troopers or something of that sort. There is even a like demon lord of slime. So the concept of demonic slimes is like totally known to you. About Liam and Taston.
I got a 15.
15. I'm assuming you chose religion. Right.
Yeah.
Same info.
Yeah.
So I have to say I hate you right now, making me waste all these good rolls.
I rolled 700.
With an 18 on the dice, that makes it a 24 arcane.
Okay.
He's actually met Jubilex.
Yeah.
In person.
Gods.
On speed dial.
Any of your slimes in this area? Cool. No, but you do know that slimes can, just like any other creature, can be demonically empowered. So like this is definitely something that you might suspect could be caused by the resurgence of demonic energy in the Underdark. The timing's a little but maybe. But the Troglodyte goes on and says, "Excuse me, where are my manners, though? I will introduce myself if you will give me your name. I am Skris, esteemed member of the Society of Brilliance, and this is my companion, Gracilax, also a member of the Society of Brilliance." And she motions to the hooded figure, who gives a little bow, but says nothing.
Do the names mean anything to me?
You may make a history check, but it's a really high DC.
You can tell that they're arrogant because of the name. That's what you get.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. You have heard of the Society of Brilliance before? Of these particular individuals, no. It's kind of like a real world equivalent would be Underdark Mensa.
Oh, okay.
It's like one of those things where people are like, oh yeah, gonna join a Society of Brilliance down in the Underdark, and like people are kind of like, I don't even know if this thing exists, and even if it does, like what's its use? Because nobody has ever come up and said I'm a member of the Society of Brilliance. So it's more of a rumor and thing to poke fun of it more than anything. But someone's claiming to be one of them.
Well met. I am Liam Olbrinter of Greenest.
So Skris looks at her companion and gives him a nod and says, well, you won't happen to have any time to sit down and talk, would you? For you see, we are writing a book meant for the inhabitants of the Underdark, and the other figure like ruffles in its robe, and it pulls out this manuscript. You notice that it has like purplish, nasty looking hands, kind of almost a little bit clawed, and then it pokes it forward, and you see on the title it says how to recognize adventurers and what to do with them.
Figures.
Yes.
As long as it doesn't say to serve man.
No, it does not.
It says how to serve troglodyte now.
So, if you perhaps have any wisdom to impart to us, we would just ask for a few hours of your time. We'll credit you, of course.
I'm going to turn back to the party. How close are we to stopping for the night?
Jim Jar says, well, we're going to travel for 3 or 4 more hours. If you want to make camp here, then He does not look incredibly sure.
I'll turn back to them, and unfortunately, we are on a tight schedule, so we won't be able to stop for that long right now. You're welcome to travel with us back towards Blingdenstone for a few hours until we camp, and then I'd be more than happy to chat with you through the night.
Skris looks over her companion again with like a questioning glance, and then looks back and says, "It is agreed. Perhaps we shall talk along the way."
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, this is not a big deal, but while we're like traveling to this next rest spot, I want to quietly reach out to the Twinnos who care what's going on in Blingdenstone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to, I have like 10 charisma, but what I want to do here is I want to gauge which faction they want to win, given what we just learned.
Ooh. Okay.
This is presuming they know what the factions are, so that'll be like the preface question. You know, who's waging right now?
So I will give you this, since you were watching them when this was happening with your previous insight check.
Yeah.
Jimjar seemed to be particularly interested when they were mentioning the two warring factions on the throne. The twins were most keenly interested when they started mentioning the monsters.
Okay.
They didn't seem to care much at all for when they were talking about the two families.
Interesting.
Now, if you want to talk to them,
I talk to them and I say, "Tell me everything you know."
Text box opened up, and you hear, and they start.
I hold them really close and I open my eyes and I like let the beginnings of the fell open up. I'm like, all right, this is how this is gonna work. You're gonna tell me everything, okay?
Yeah. Testin Ranch reaches down to you and whispers and says, "I don't understand what's happening."
It's okay, Ron. Okay, we're going.
Where'd you come from?
Ah! Shit.
Stealth is too good.
Damn it! I knew it.
We killed them, Shaman?
No, not right now.
Oh. Okay.
We're just gonna, for now, we'll go ahead and see what they are asking.
But smelly lizard.
And we seem like smelly orcs and humans to them. So let's give them some space for a bit, and then if things go bad, we'll do what we do.
I am smelly orc.
Yes. Yes. Clearly the metaphor went straight over his head. Perfect.
All right. So for the next few hours, you travel with this troop. The Darrow of the two traveling companions of the Society of Brilliance just keep around them in a mob, seemingly like in some protective gesture, but they don't really pay a whole lot of mind to most of the party. Skris seems to do all the talking, only pausing occasionally like she's listening to her companion, and you figured out pretty quickly it seems to have some sort of telepathy or some unspoken language with her that she just receives. She warns you not to get too close. My stench is quite great, I cannot turn it off. But the Darrow don't seem to mind, and they keep you away. And she starts talking about this book. You know, she's in workshopping a few titles. You know, the one she gave you was the working title right now, but she had been considering like The Adventurers of the Upper Dark, Middle Dark, and Lower Dark, a guide to field identification. She starts leafing through the sections, and you find that she's got like several sections on like adventurer roles, and it actually kind of describes your party to a T. It's like, well, to recognize adventurers, you have the scouts, the foragers, the mappers, the guards, and she just pulls out all the stereotypes for recognizing adventurers.
Does she mention the word? What is it? I still can't think of it. Murder hobos.
Murder hobos.
Yes.
Let me see. I actually have the text right here.
Subclass.
Also, for the record, I'm casting Prestidigitation.
Okay.
And I'm going to cause a light breeze to waft over me so that I always have a wind blowing
Oh my God.
the stench away from me,
Okay.
so that I'm not smelling it.
Okay.
That's fair.
So that's fair. Yeah, because like at certain points you probably like get a whiff of it and you're like, nope. Like it smells like bad. Like hot garbage. But let me just read you a section from this.
She came from the bog of eternal stench.
Mm-hmm.
So guards on adventuring party guards. Where you see a guard, usually tightly packed around valuable adventurers or loot, it gives you a good first clue to the identity of an adventurer party. Don't forget to broaden your selection to include more stealthy adventurers that have shifted their ranges to roaming. Because they commonly have the same role each time, as they will loudly proclaim, these guards look for their own kind and spend their waking moments with, typically to complain to each other. Heavy armor and weapons, along with dull facial expressions, give a good clue to your average guard. Guards are often triggered upon hearing the shrill cry of clothwares, and they are seen rushing into battle and shooting at the slightest sound. A lot of the book are things like that. Do you have anything to add?
Does she have anything about casters?
About casters, let's see. Yes. I'll give you the synopsis of this. Yes. Essentially, there's this one thing where they try to help you differentiate between bards and typical casters, arcane casters, generally by the colorfulness of their robes. And it kind of goes on like that. It seems to be more. They seem to be more knowledgeable about casters. Like this is written from a perspective of somebody who can cast spells. But it goes into like identifying the general, to put in meta terms, warlock, wizard, sorcerer, that kind of stuff, and what roles they commonly form in parties and how to fight them.
So would it be a history check or an investigation to provide information that would be useful?
I mean, if you want to, you can just tell generally about yourself and what you know. Unless you want to try and not do that.
Not being deceitful, just not role-playing it out.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. An investigation would be fine.
Okay. Let's see how how much useful information I can provide. Oh, shit. That's a natural 1.
All right, then. Perfect.
Which makes it a 7.
Okay, so you're not providing like useless or fake information or anything. It's just that it seems like every time you provide something, she mentions that she already has this in her notes, and just to go on to a different topic.
Okay.
It's like yeah, that's basic. I didn't include it in the book, and it's just one of those things where you're like, I can't win, right?
Okay. I figure once we stop for the evening, I'll go into more detail, but that's what I'm providing on our trip to where we stop.
Okay. All right. So they so you stop, and assuming you would let them stay with you, they'll make their quote unquote camp. It seems like the hooded figure has some sort of expandable, fairly elaborate tent that it pulls out, and it just kind of like expands out from what is quite obviously a bag of holding, and sets it down and goes into it to like quote unquote rest for the night. But Skris remains outside, explaining that it would be terrible if I stunk up the tent. Half of the arrow go into the tent, half of them stay with her, and she seems to be content on the information that you've provided. what there was. And it goes back to writing notes. And at some point, she pulls out like a speaking stone and starts talking to some person named Y. Jimjar, Bupido, Eldeth, all of them seem very, very unsure of these individuals. But as long as you seem okay, they seem okay. Skris will tell you that Blingdenstone is just a day ahead. Oh, reminds me. Skris will ask as well if your ultimate destination is Blingdenstone or you're headed somewhere else.
No, we're going to Menza Bronzen.
I know that's a lie.
No, I'm still stealth back here.
Yeah.
Just out of the shadows, you heard.
Well, eventually we're going to make our way back to the surface, but for now we have some business to take care of in Blingdenstone. Uh-oh.
Just got disconnected.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I see everybody's icon lighting up.
Yeah, I got disconnected too.
The good news is that the camera's still on, so that's probably fine.
See if it's still up. Apparently, it's not just us, as chat is indicating. The game chat, not the Twitch chat.
All right.
Steam die? Okay. Or maybe somebody finally figured out what this tabletop thing's all about, and maybe finally
Decided to
filed chargers. It's like, wait a minute, you could get anything on this thing.
Hang on a second, this ain't cool.
Wow. I mean, Steam may have just hit the bullet. I don't know.
Let me see if I can fire up another game. Oh, that loaded just fine. Oh, okay.
Disconnected from lobby server. Oh, good.
Quick,
me try
save the game
recreating.
before it all dies.
All right, and I was able to create it again. So you may be able to rejoin.
But we lost everyone's characters.
Oh, snap.
Did we?
I have no idea. I'm not in there yet. I restarted the game. Okay, there's apparently been a patch.
Oh, is that what happened?
It's like a dumb thing to do.
All right. No, everything's still here.
Okay.
Thanks to autosave.
I'm reconnecting now.
Right, hang on. I will be right back.
There we go. Yay, I'm in. If it'll let me. Oh, God, loading all the things. Dying. Okay. And yeah, it did save everything. Woo. All right, Guido, real talk. How much are you going to kill these people?
Is that part of the plan already?
The dog is like, yes, kill. I love that.
I have to say I'm curious who the mysterious individual is, but
Why?
Why?
Because plot hook.
No, that's the name of the person on the other end.
That's
That would be
the
funny.
person that's in the tent.
That's what he said. The name of the person on the other end of the thing is named Y. I thought that was a great stupid joke to make.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was the person
It's
in the
that
tent.
bad. No, it's that bad.
It's an amazing joke, okay? You just need to appreciate it.
No, it's not.
Best joke ever.
Okay, back.
You might be losing subs because of that joke.
Nope,
Did somebody
disconnected.
make a pun?
No, you were saying that the person on the other end of the speaking stone was named Y?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I made a play on that,
No.
and it was not good.
And tabletop just disconnected again.
Oh, I'm still in for
Not
now.
for me.
Okay, well,
You started the whole program, right, Guido?
yeah.
Well, we can't do this without tabletop. If you want.
But how will I know where my character is on this map?
Okay, loading back in.
Yay!
Ta-da! All right, perfect. Okay, so Skris and the other Darrow start to bed down for the Underdark night, assuming everyone else starts to get their sleep. You notice that the Darrow seem to be taking turns keeping watch, the two of them just poking up at a time. The rest of them sleep.
Go ahead and meditate and commune with Calvor, but at the same time, I'm going to ask Dawnbringer to keep senses out, see if there's anything amiss. Hopefully it's just not constant gibber about wanting to be used on everything.
The Dawnbringer has been kind of silent. It's almost like the actual sight of something that she wanted to fight coming to life, and her being terrified of it has dulled her a bit.
Okay.
Plus, you've been keeping her underneath the cloak most of the time.
Not wanting to make a beacon quite yet.
Yeah. I need to actually put a portrait here for Dawnbringer.
No. Yeah. What character class in that game would they be?
Yeah.
The party planner.
So everyone go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Yep.
A wisdom save?
Yes.
I'm still stealth. I just want to remind everyone.
Yep.
It's extremely important. That gives me advantage, I'm sure.
No.
No, it does. I looked up the rules. Being stealth means that I win. I win the roll. And I definitely don't get a 7.
10.
Platter rolls are available.
No platter roll. I'll take the 7.
So I will tell you what you start experiencing before you decide to do a platter roll.
Okay.
You feel pokes at your mind, like something is trying to enter it, trying to see what your thoughts are.
Oh, okay. That's not. Yeah. Hey, Platty. I don't know if you could do this, but if you could give me a Platty roll right now, that would be awesome. I don't feel like fighting 10 mind flayers right now.
Yes, and as you experience this in like the split second where you make the decision to do a Platty roll, and you feel this probe, you notice that everybody else who is like awake, like kind of gives a start, like they're experiencing this as well in your party.
And by the way, I rolled an unnatural 21.
Okay.
12, and that's a wisdom save. So.
Yes, unnatural 21 on a d20. I had to.
Yes. What are the odds of that?
Right.
So that's going to be a 15 for me with a bloody roll.
Perfect. And Tassin, sorry, what did you say you had?
A 10.
A 10.
A solid 10, which is not going to save me.
A solid 10. Okay. So Tassin.
Yeah, I was going to say, my wisdom save is +6, and I rolled a 2. It's just, yes. I'm sorry. Then that means I'm sorry. I got an 8, actually. It's even worse.
God. What do you think is the biggest thing looming in your mind?
Right now is trying to get back to the surface to get some guidance and resupply so I could find a way to open the portal to get back to my brother, to get him out of that hellscape.
Okay. So you sense whatever has invaded your mind, pulling in information, not like ripping it away from you, but just opening it up like a book and saying, "Oh, this is what's most looming in your mind. This is what you're thinking about. This is what you're worrying over." Do you want to continue to resist as it tries to probe deeper?
If I notice it's an invasion,
Oh yeah, it's obvious.
Then yes, okay, absolutely.
Please make an intelligence check then.
Great.
At the same time, while that's happening, those of you who have resisted, you can roll for other people. You notice immediately that everybody in the group has been affected by something, maybe the same thing, as they just kind of give a jolt upwards, and Ront starts grabbing his head and saying weird stuff in Orc, which I guess Liam can understand. So he is saying something about evil spirits trying to read his mind. What did you get, Teston?
Natural 20.
Oh, okay. So you shove this thing out of your mind. Like you sense it start to go deeper, and you say, "Nope." Calling Kellenvor, and it just leaves.
Okay. And so I start awake, and I draw Dawnbringer.
Okay. Dawnbringer pulls out and says, "Something is in my thoughts. Some evil presence."
Is there a stat that I need to roll for that? Or no, you have the stats for Dawnbringer.
I do.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. I know Dawnbringer has stats, and that means something.
It does.
Oh boy.
It's terrible when your sword can be mind probed. It says, "Do not worry, I have rebuffed it, but I fear it learned something. It learned about what happened back at the fishing village."
That checks out.
Ron is meanwhile just sitting there trying to hit his head with a rock.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to him. Hey, buddy.
Ron says, "It won't leave.
Okay, the rock's
It
not
knows
down.
my favorite meal."
Oh, okay. Put the rock down. It's gonna be like
knows?
Oh, okay, we'll find out who knows.
Find out. Oh god, my intelligence is minus 2. I'm never gonna stop this. He knows. Oh, I finally got lucky.
I was gonna say, on the plus side, you really don't know a whole lot. That could get us in
That's
trouble.
the thing.
It's like the unlocked safe that's already empty.
Stress also has kind of come awake at this point and is looking around curiously, asking, is anything wrong? You seem to have had some troubling dreams. Is your orc friend okay?
There was a presence that seems to have been looking for something in both my mind and his.
A presence. What type of presence? Demonic.
Unknown, but invasive, and looking for information. And very inquisitive.
I see. Well, it seems like this place is not safe. I must take my leave then. And she gets up and goes over to the tent and just raps on it a couple times.
Can I roll an insight or to sense motive to see if she's trying to hide something?
Sure.
Okay. That would be 13.
13. Okay. You get the sense that she is trying to hide annoyance. Like she knows what has happened, but really doesn't want to say.
Okay. Is anybody else awake or Ron?
Yeah, everybody seems to have caught this as well.
Okay.
So people are stirring awake. Jimjar looks like worried. He just is sitting there, with his arms crossed, looking around the group. Sushar just seems about the same as normal. He just sits up and grins and drools.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That also helpful.
And the deep gnome were-rat man or kid seems to have been a little agitated by this and is sitting there on the ground just kind of making angry sounds. So they're a little rattled, especially Ron.
So I'm going to step out of the way and pull Liam aside. So I'm assuming everything, and I'm going to try to do this away from, what's her name? Skris.
Yep.
And her entourage.
Yep.
So I get the feeling she was delving for something in our minds. So some sort of psionic attack. She didn't get too far with me before I shut her out, but she also probed Dawnbringer, and so she knows about the village.
Stand ready.
All right.
I am still stealthed.
That's why I didn't even call. I didn't even call out to you because I knew you were cut to a stalagmite and you're hanging upside down.
I'm just holding on to it
just like
cut to a dwarf who's been hanging onto a stalactite for 5 hours.
Just nothing to see here.
Are we killing them or not? God.
This has hints of when you attach to that air taxi back in the.
Oh God, yeah.
Did Skris go into the tent?
No, she's just wrapping on the entrance.
Okay.
Tent is flammable.
Probably.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
Yet. I am going to approach the tent.
Okay.
And pass by Skris. And as I am walking in, I am going to say, we should make sure your charge hasn't been affected as well.
So she goes, as you, I'm guessing, just brush past her regardless of what she says.
Yep.
So the first thing is I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw as you brush past this smelly troglodyte.
I still have the...
that's the blowing breeze. That's true. I will give you advantage.
Okay. So you said Constitution?
That is correct. Versus poison.
Unnatural 20. So
okay.
17 on the die.
So you manage to keep the fungi down as you go past this hot garbage smelling creature. And you brush past her as she doth protest and lift open the tent flap. And they're at this point are like, "Arr!" But they seem to be no more than just small servants. They make no real actual effective attempts to stop you. And you open a tent, and of course, it's bigger on the inside. As it opens up into about a 15 by 20 foot, fairly well furnished and warm tent. It's kind of like, oh, this jerk's been living in this entire time. He could have invited us in. There's an alchemical set. There's some books. This is obviously the tent of a scholar. And you see over, and there's no bed in here.
As I'm entering, not to interrupt, but as I'm entering, just for flavor, I gotta get me one of these.
Yeah, this is nice. Yeah. And as your eyes make your way around there, admiring the various expensive instruments, you see the occupant, this individual that Skris had been traveling with, without the cloak on, just getting up from what seems to be studying at the desk. And I don't hold on, let me get this in here real quick. So the head has no mouth, or at least you can't see the mouth because it's covered up with tentacles.
It is.
Circle skin, tentacles coming down from where its mouth presumably should be, beady eyes. One of the tentacles, gold cap, seems to have been chopped off in the center of it. it looks over at you as it's closing the book, obviously having been roused from, its studies by Skris. And you hear in your mind, as it comes in, it says, "I apologize for my appearance. Do not be afraid. I will not harm you."
Were you the one that was probing my companions?
Fine probing.
Gross.
This is these things are very important, you see. The answer could be yes or no.
Were you looking into their minds?
Oh, you sensed that? Yes, that was me. And Skris is kind of like gritting her teeth, like she's not really sure whether or not this is going well. You get the sense she's not in on this conversation. Yes, did it cause you a startle? I'm sorry. I forget that people are sensitive to those things.
In most cultures, it's considered rude to do so without asking first.
Oh, well, I shall keep that in mind next time. Thank you. Would you care to come in? It seems like apparently we need to go, but I could stay a bit longer if there's no cause for alarm.
Give me a moment to calm my companions.
Meanwhile, I'm just killing all of the enemy troops.
Yes, you look outside the tent, and it's just fire, dead bodies.
Everything.
I may
This is
be
the
too
dude,
late.
anyway.
Yeah, this seems normal.
Well, that's what he looks like. So you poke your head out?
Yeah.
Okay. Fortunately, you're immune to the stench for 1 hour. Skris looks down and says, "Did it go okay?"
It was rude. Him or her?
Troglodyte is she?
No, the Illithid.
Illithid.
Oh, question mark?
Okay.
They?
They failed to take into consideration the polite procedure to ask first.
You can see her like just resist rolling her eyes and saying, "It causes quite a bit of problems when we're in civilized society. I apologize for that, but you'll understand why we keep him like away from other people."
So maybe now we can get some straight answers as to what's going on in Blingdenstone.
Straight answers? I gave you nothing but straight answers.
Well, we could use some more details.
She looks a little confused and says, like what?
Who was it that came from Blingdenstone of the NPCs?
Presumably Jimjar and Topsy and Turvy. Well, Jimjar said so much. Topsy and Turvy didn't say so much, but you get the feeling.
So I'm going to look past Skris and Jimjar, Taslin, Mark. You may want to join me.
Who?
I think he means you over there by the rock.
Oh god.
Strangle whoever that is to death. Just really quick, and then I go back
Jimjar.
to Jimjar's dead. Sorry, guys.
I mean, I'm not pointing you out or anything. I was just
Nothing personal, Jimjar. He's just But yeah, no, I am not going to leave stealth. Sorry, I'm going to.
I'll walk over.
Okay. Tassin walks over. Jimjar walks over. Jimjar makes a con save. He succeeds.
All right, let's see how this goes bad. I'm gonna start dry heaving.
It's like a cat.
Yeah. That's 10.
10.
10
Okay.
total. It's
All right.
7 and 3.
Okay. I mean, he'll just like barf all over the place or anything. But you know that when you smell something real bad and you just got that nasty feeling in the bottom of your stomach.
Okay.
It's like,
Okay.
Yeah. So technically you can make the save every turn until you save. So you're eventually going to be fine.
Okay.
But oof, like it actually feels like a little bit's coming up for just a second. But Skris opens up the tent flap and says, let's talk inside if we have to.
That
I
was
don't
the
want
plan.
the orc rushing in and bashing my skull in.
Okay, I will put Dawnbringer away. Just something fun and different.
Okay. You notice that they haven't like really even like batted an eye at Dawnbringer, even though you brought her out. Okay. So you open it up, you see the Mind Flayer in there. And
You'll immediately freak out. Wait, do you know what an illithid is?
You probably do.
Yes.
Like, even if you've never seen one before, this is the kind of stuff they tell you about when you're a kid. Like, if you see someone with tentacles on their face, don't get in the van.
Yeah. There's the top echelon of stranger danger. This one might be there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's currently...
Before I go inside,
yeah,
I'm going to step out and find Stool.
Okay. Stool is just wandering around like oblivious to everything that's going on.
I'm going to take a sniff.
Okay. Let's go to Neverlight Grove. Hello. Nobody wants to take a whiff of my spores. I don't know why. You're the first person in a long time.
Find Monarch.
Who's more?
Okay.
Is he angry or is he happy?
Oh.
Mark. And then I'm going to go back inside.
Okay.
I realize that. I'm trying to...
So you see Mark, like every single person just like looks over.
and I'm just right there like, what?
No, I don't think anybody except for Jim Jar even saw you. So
Okay.
they don't know. Ron comes and says, like, what happened? Mean to smash heads?
No, not yet.
Not yet. We're working on that.
When you shout, I come in and I smash.
Yeah, if we that's actually not a bad plan. If any noise is made at all.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, can I roll listen real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Do I hear him say that to him? I got a 15.
Ron is not quiet.
Okay. Because the point is, like, I'm going to be following the same policy, basically. If I hear any noise of any loud sound, that there's going to be an attack of doom.
Yeah, and Liam and Mark, you notice that Eldith is kind of like crouched back, but you see that has a hand and like a dagger in the crook of her, and she just gives you a nod, Liam, as you go back there.
If I may, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound like I'm being completely negligent here, because I'm not. I'm just waiting for this to go south, really. Is there any other way into the tent?
Aside from through it?
Basically. Like, okay, let me start this question from a different angle.
Yeah.
If I were to say stealth to the other side of the tent, could I go under it and into it that way?
In theory, yes.
I do that.
Okay.
I don't actually go in. I get in position.
Okay. Yeah, you're on the other side.
Guards on the other side?
No, there's no hidden guards on the other side.
Is there an elder brain just sitting there waiting for me?
Yes, there are 10 illithid all crouched down into a little clown car position behind
Just
it.
nobody noticed.
Just waiting. They look at me and I look at them. There's just this moment of...
And they pick up a bush and like walk away.
But no, I am crouched back there, and I am also I want to be close to the tent so I can hear.
Okay. Yeah, you hear muffled sounds. It's weird. It sounds like people are much further away from when they're at the entrance than they should be. But yeah. But you three, Jim Jar, Aston, and Liam, enter the tent. The illithid is levitating some chairs telekinetically. It seems to be emerging out of a trunk in the back, and putting them down. And these look like black wood or maybe black mushroom wood. You kind of swear you've seen mushrooms in this similar color and texture, but nicely carved with little tentacle patterns and brains all over the place. And it sets it down.
Very, very nice decor.
Yeah, Skris remains near the entrance, more than likely out of courtesy of the smell than anything else. And the Mind Flayer prefers to remain standing, but puts the seats down and telepathically asks everyone this is going to be a really one-sided conversation for you, Mark. Telepathically asks everyone in the tent, how may I assist you? I have apologized for scaring you. It's been explained to me that was rude.
What did you want to know?
Oh, everything. I am a seeker of knowledge.
It's Ansem. Kill him.
This world isn't perfect. No. As the second highest ranking member, third technically, of the Society of Brilliance, it is my duty to pursue knowledge in all of its forms. I learned some very, very interesting things, but if you would like to tell me more, then perhaps we may share knowledge. That is what I like, sharing knowledge, consuming knowledge.
Now, when you say consuming knowledge, is that consuming brains?
In the purely scholarly sense. So no, if you are worried about brains, I assure you I keep cattle to avoid feeding on the more intelligent creatures.
Right about now, I'm in the back, right? And just this guy just roams over and is like, drool coming down his face.
It's like Mark, meanwhile, you're back there, you hear nothing for a little bit, and then you hear Tess say, do you feed on brains?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what happens. And I'm just like, I have to make a judgment call. Do I leap in? No one said ham sandwich lately, so I don't think.
Not yet.
So.
It's at the ready. Don't you worry.
I'm listening.
Yeah. Wouldn't you rather than having this brain have a nice ham sandwich?
Go.
No, but Grazlax, the Illithid, tells you that it may surprise you to learn, but we don't actually gain any knowledge from consuming brains. It is purely a form of nourishment. A necessary one.
Okay.
I learn just the same way as you do. Well, perhaps I have a little bit of an edge, but it is what it is.
Are you helping to write the field guide?
Oh, of course. Amongst many other things. I'm writing the field guide. I have also taken an interest to studying the very, very odd surge of Phaserus that has occurred in the Underdark as well. We haven't seen that for quite some time. Combine that with demonic presences, it's quite a powder keg.
Were the demonic presences a recent increase, or?
It thinks for a minute and says, relatively speaking, yes. It's happened before, but I guess there was a little bit of a time between them.
That being said, outside, I'm thinking to myself, which may be completely broadcasting it to the Illithid, do they see time the same way we do as far as like their lifespan versus does a week to them mean a second, or like a week for them is like a second?
The Illithid answers you and says, well, relatively speaking, as you're thinking this, relatively speaking, I suppose I do measure it in I measure larger amounts of time as passing moments. So yes, relative to your measurement of time, it would be maybe 450 years.
Okay. So it's definitely increased. Okay.
This time it's quite odd. It's much stronger, much more sudden.
Have you found any source for the For the increase of the phazon?
For the increase of the phasers? No, that's quite the interesting phenomenon. Normally, it stays fairly stagnant, but it seems to have increased right before the demonic presence, as if someone opened the floodgates and let it loose.
Has there been other reports of wild magic caused by that?
No, well, wherever there's phasers, there's wild magic, so yes, I suppose.
Well, if you're looking to, I'm muted. If you're looking to, do some research on demonic presences, I would highly recommend visiting Schloopadoop.
Oh, yes, I have seen it. It is quite the it's quite the portal in the hell over there, isn't it? No, I think that's a little too dangerous even for my tastes, but it's very interesting how easily the demon lord was able to enter the Underdark. Quite fascinating. I'll have to see what becomes of it.
And where was it that we were imprisoned?
Velkenveld. It's on a map over here, actually.
Okay.
So he's already seen that through my eyes. So he already has that information, so I'm not going to play off like he doesn't, because he's already got that far into my head.
Well, yeah, but I don't know that.
Right, okay. So I will skip ahead. So as far as like demonic presences, apparently you know about that. But also, you also saw the portal from where we were prior to that at Valkenville.
Yes, very, very fascinating. A portal that opens to the abyss but does not close. Seems intentional,
Yes. We have no idea how to close that. That seems like something that we should probably figure out.
Closing it? It seems like it never considered this up until now. I'd be at a loss as well. I mean, I have no idea how you would close something so potent. Are you attempting to try?
I have business on the other side, but
business on the other side. That is something I've never really heard a mortal utter before. What business do you have?
So he did go through that process in my head and didn't make the connection about the relation.
You kind of get the sense that he's just seen what you're going to say.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's family that's left behind. And so I'm bound to make that trek back, whether I want to or not.
How exactly do you plan on doing that?
That is the question.
That is the question. There are very few people who have gone to the abyss and come back. Well, there are many, but they haven't been quite sane afterwards.
I honestly don't know. I'm either going to walk back through that portal, or I'm going to find a way to draw him back out to this side. But I don't know. That's why I need to get back to the surface, find out information, get resupplied, and then find a way to get back to make this happen.
Let's see. Very brave. Very brave. I suppose.
Some would say suicidal.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a very fine line between bravery and stupidity. And meanwhile, of course, Mark, you've been hearing one end of this conversation.
Yeah, I'm just like, what is it?
Why is he telling him everything?
Yeah, seriously, dude. Keep
What are you
shoving
doing?
it under your hood. God. What is with you? Oh, whatever. And I'm just.
Do you want to write it down so you can take it with him so it'll be easy to remember?
Take a freaking picture next time. God.
Yeah.
Tell it. Just do a play. I don't know.
Yeah. Some puppets. It'll be great.
You know, get 3PO in here. He'll recite the whole thing.
Yeah. Sound effects and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Audio drama.
Well, it says, well, I do believe that if you wish to reach the surface, you're headed in the right direction. Blingdenstone has many excellent guides that can lead you there, but you may have to coax them in order to actually help you. They are in a huge amount of trouble themselves. Not just from political fighting, but danger from the monsters and demons that lurk outside their walls.
So lurk outside their walls on another plane, or actually have already physically entered?
Quite physically lurk outside their walls.
Okay. That's now a third instance.
I don't believe there's been an incursion from the Abyss anywhere nearby, but its influence is being felt all throughout the Underdark. People who are normally calm have become quite violent at the slightest provocation. Those who are insane have just become completely wild.
At this exact moment, I get filled with rage and bust in and start punching everything I can see.
But he says, but there are many who have learned to tap into the immense power that the demons provide.
Hey.
Some to greater or some to worse effect.
Okay.
If this was a cutscene, the camera would cut to me outside right now.
Dun, 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 going
Shaking with rage. Yeah.
No. But he says, if you truly wish to return to the surface and then go to the Abyss, you will likely need to use powers that you would not have considered before.
Demonic.
So like origami? No, okay.
The ancient art of origami, do not speak of it here.
Blasphemy!
That word for 1,000 years. No, he says, no, there's no use in being cryptic. Mainly, demons are the inhabitants of hell, and you must become similar to them if you are to survive. A mortal will vanish and dust away in an instant.
Okay. So... which immediately my mind goes to, all right, so we find a demonic slime, kill it, cover ourselves with the slime, and then we're good to go. I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
I mean, it worked for the team.
He does respond. He says, that's not how it works.
No.
No, I believe you have some friends here who may be able to tell you more about this.
Find a way to attune demonically without actually changing demonically, and maybe that'll work, but that's
perhaps
some research to do later.
It does seem like you have already presided over such a ritual before.
I'll have to look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so out of game, my character's thinking that he hadn't shared all that. He just shared the part about the portal and my brother being there, but not the ceremony to fix Mark's overpowering.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep that on the DL.
Mm-hmm.
While we've been talking, I'm assuming aside from just the general conversation, there hasn't been an additional pressure for more memory knowledge and stuff like that, or would we know the difference?
No, but you get the sense that essentially surface thoughts are basically just open to him. So if you literally just think about it for a moment, he knows.
I left my email open again. Damn it.
Exactly. But he says after a moment, I do believe I must leave. I think I have tarried here long enough, and I must return to the Society of Brilliance council chambers. I have some interesting things to report. So, if you will please vacate my tent, otherwise you may accidentally come with me, and I will not be able to return you to this spot.
Okay, I will get up. Thank you for your time and information.
And he gives a nod. Skris seems to have calmed down at this point. And Mark, you hear them wrapping up.
Mm-hmm. Do I want to charge them now?
As a last-ditch effort, as the tent, like as you leap at the tent, it goes.
I'll see you guys in about 7 levels or never.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't, but
no, I back off.
Unadvised.
So you leave the tent, and Skris comes outside, bids you farewell, and perhaps we shall meet again, but in the dark is a big place, perhaps not. And the Darrow crowd around her, as she starts making some motions, obviously casting a spell. As she begins to draw with some chalk, some circles on the ground, and to draw arcane power from it, and teleports herself, the Darrow, and the tent away.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask her where she got the tent before she left.
Damn. At that, we will end for tonight as you go into Blingdenstone after a good night's rest.
And we will encounter slime demons. That'll be fun.
Hooray!
Yep.
Wait, I've got salt. We can fix this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one interpretation.
I have holy salt?
We can fix this.
Yeah. No, we'll make it worse. Don't worry. I know how this game works.
So far,
we've yet to make a demonic incursion improved. in the 2 that we've done so far.
At some point, we've got to at some point, right? I mean,
I'm scouring tomes to see if I can find a spell called Holy Reset. I'm not finding it. So I'm not looking like this is going to happen.
It's called Buy the GM Dinner.